8:21 on your Monday morning. We're playing the Los Cabos music because Charlene's headed somewhere hot. But we're going to make you work for it first here this morning,
I didn't
Sharlene.
win it. I had to work for it.
She worked for it, as we all have to in real life. About staffing, Sharlene Massie's here to answer the question of the question. What I'm trying to say is when you go for an interview, you need to be asking questions of your possible employer. And this is kind of like turning the tables, isn't it?
Well, it is, and I think most people are very nervous about whether they should ask questions to the interviewer or not. They think that they're in that interview to just be asked, but really it does show some initiative and some interest if they actually kind of have a two-way street going, a communication log. So, you know, they should be talking about the questions. They should be asking each other questions rather than just a one-way street. So it's okay to ask the questions. And, you know, the first question really should be, is it okay for me to ask questions during the interview, or can I wait until the end of the interview to ask the questions? What would you prefer? And then it shows right there the professionalism and the courtesy, and then it eases everybody, including the interviewer.
And it shows a certain amount of assertiveness that I think that an employer would be interested in.
Well, if you want to stand out from the crowd, then definitely come with some questions, or at least have them in your head, because not a lot of people do that. So, yeah, if you want to stand out and be remembered at the end of the day when the interviewers had 20 interviews, then ask some good questions.
So prepare them in advance. Let's go through some of them that you would recommend.
Sure.
Why is the job vacant or available? That seems like a nice basic one to get going.
Yeah, it's kind of an easy, open-ended type of question. I mean, if I was looking for a job, I certainly would want to know why. Has the person been terminated? Was it due to a layoff? Is the person going on maternity leave? Was it maybe the position is a growth position? I want to know what's going on in the company. I want to know also, you know, how many people have been in this position in the last few years, because if this is a really high turnover position, you know, maybe I'm going to kind of think twice about this position for myself. So it's a good question to ask why it's open.
And interesting to see if you get a straightforward answer too.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, you also want to start thinking about what's most important to you as the person applying for the job. So, you know, you want to ask this person, are you going to be my boss, or am I going to be working with someone else or working for someone else? And if you're not my supervisor, what kind of management style should I be expecting in this position? Because perhaps it's not going to mesh with my morals, my values, or my expectations of the position. So, you know, you've got to kind of think through the position and think through the interview and what is really going to be important for you. Because you spend, you know, 8, 10, 12 sometimes hours a day in this job, and it could be for years and years. So you want to make sure that you're asking really
good fit.
Good questions. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have every right to make sure that it is a good fit. Here's another one. Are there opportunities to advance, such as skill level courses, career network? People are afraid to ask that sometimes, but why not?
Well, they are afraid because very often people think of advancement only as a position advancement. But there are other things that a company can offer an individual as far as advancement, such as courses or skill, and you know, increasing someone's skills along their career path, or perhaps meeting new people and increasing their networks and their contacts. And a lot of times even just meeting new friends and social outlets and things like that. If the company is offering that, but not necessarily an advancement in position, that could still be a really good fit for someone that is maybe looking just to expand their social, you know, their social groups. I think it's really great.
Now, we've got lots of more questions. I won't get to all of them, but is the employer required to answer these questions? You know, you can tee them up and have them ready to go, but what is your experience?
Well, they don't have to, but really, if they don't, then that's going to tell me something as well. That's going to give me a bit of a red flag that I would be concerned about, because I want to have an open, honest relationship with this person and this company. And if they're not willing to tell me the information that I need to make a decision for myself, then it certainly wouldn't be a position that I would be interested in taking. So I think that if the interviewer is a little skeptical about answering, I would think twice about that one.
Okay. Yeah. Sharlene, you have so many job opportunities out there. Let's hit a couple if we have a chance here. Some hot jobs. Let's put our first one up and tell me about this one.
Okay, well, we do have an accountant position available. That's for one of our clients. I often say favorite. This is another favorite. I've had positions for this client for a number of years. and it's located in the close southeast, so not too far outside of downtown. It's an accountant position that's going to be doing some analysis as well as some day-to-day functions, so it's quite an expansive position. So again, this person can really take this accounting position and make it what they want. They're paying between $57,000 to $60,000, a little bit flexible on that, but the environment is extremely supportive and warm and kind, and it's quite a big company. So when we talked about advancement and that sort of thing, this would be a really great job interview to ask those kinds of questions.
Those kind of questions.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, that's a little taste of it. As Sharlene Massie's with About Staffing, and there are lots of job opportunities out there right now. So if you're not happy, get a move on it. breakfasttelevision.ca. Thank you so much, Sharlene.